Power reveals. That idea has echoed throughout American history, and nowhere is it more visible than in the scandals involving U.S. presidents. From secret deals and political cover-ups to personal misconduct, corruption, and leaked emails, every decade seems to bring new revelations that shock the nation. Today, we will take a journey through some of the most famous and infamous scandals surrounding American presidents. We will move from the early 20th century through the turbulence of Watergate to Clinton's impeachment, and finally to the recent controversial Epstein-related email leak involving Donald Trump, which has stirred up massive debate in 2025. Let's begin. Section 1. The early 20th century, the Teapot Dome scandal. Our story starts in the 1920s, during the presidency of Warren G. Harding. This era produced what many historians still call the biggest Washington scandal before Watergate. It is known as the Teapot Dome scandal. Harding's Secretary of the Interior, Albert B. Fall, secretly leased federal oil reserves to private companies without competitive bidding in exchange for large bribes. These oil fields, including the famous Teapot Dome in Wyoming, were meant to be emergency reserves for the U.S. Navy. When the story broke, the public was outraged. Fall eventually became the first U.S. cabinet member in history to go to prison for corruption. Harding himself was never directly implicated, but the scandal destroyed public trust and permanently damaged his legacy. It also sparked early calls for transparency laws that still influence government ethics today. Section 2. Post-war America, abuse of power and Cold War controversies. Moving forward in time, American presidents faced new pressures during the Cold War. One example is Lyndon B. Johnson, whose administration was accused of manipulating intelligence reports about the Vietnam War. Although not a traditional bribery or corruption scandal, many historians argue that the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which escalated the war, was misrepresented to Congress to justify military expansion. Similarly, John F. Kennedy faced criticism for his extramarital affairs, which remained hidden during his lifetime due to a friendlier press environment. Today, historians view this as part of a long-standing pattern of presidential secrecy. These incidents may not have produced criminal charges, but they set the stage for Americans to question the honesty of the White House, a skepticism that would explode in the 1970s. Section 3. The Nixon Era, Watergate. No discussion of presidential scandals is complete without Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal, arguably the most defining political scandal in U.S. history. In 1972, operatives linked to Nixon's re-election campaign broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex. The initial incident seemed minor, but what followed changed the country. Secret payments to keep burglars silent, the misuse of federal agencies to target political opponents, and most famously, the White House tapes, which exposed Nixon's involvement in the cover-up. For 2 years, the nation watched as evidence mounted. In 1974, facing certain impeachment, Nixon did something no president had ever done. He resigned. Watergate reshaped America's relationship with its leaders. It led to major reforms in campaign finance laws, ethics rules, and stronger protections for journalists and whistleblowers. Most importantly, it taught the public that presidential power is not above the law. Section 4. The 1990s, Sex, Power, and the Clinton Impeachment. Fast forward to the 1990s and the most internationally famous presidential sex scandal in modern history. Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Clinton, then President of the United States, had an affair with Lewinsky, a 22-year-old White House intern. While the relationship alone was shocking, the real political crisis began when Clinton was accused of lying under oath about it. In 1998, he was impeached by the House of Representatives on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice. He became only the second president ever impeached. The Senate later acquitted him, allowing him to remain in office, but the scandal divided the nation. It raised enduring questions about the boundaries between public and private morality, the role of the media, and how personal misconduct affects the legitimacy of political leadership. Even today, the Clinton and Lewinsky scandal remains a reference point whenever a new political scandal erupts. Section 5. The controversial Trump years. No modern president has faced more investigations, prosecutions, and headline-grabbing controversies than Donald Trump. During and after his presidency, Trump became the first U.S. president to face criminal indictments. These include charges related to classified documents, attempts to overturn the 2020 election, and financial misconduct. Many cases remain ongoing, creating a complicated and politically charged legal landscape. But in late 2025, a new scandal erupted, sparking massive public debate online: the Epstein email leak. Recently released emails from Mark Epstein, the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, included one particularly explosive line: "Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba." This sentence set the internet on fire. Many speculated that Bubba referred to Bill Clinton, a nickname he has been known by for years. However, Mark Epstein later released a statement claiming that Bubba referred to a private individual. The email was intended as a joke, and no such photos exist. Despite his explanation, the email fueled new political arguments, conspiracy theories, and media commentary about Trump's past relationship with Epstein. As with many Trump controversies, reactions were sharply divided. Supporters dismissed it as fabricated or taken out of context. Critics argued it raised questions about Trump's connections and past behavior. Regardless of interpretation, the leak added another controversial chapter to a presidency and post-presidency defined by constant legal drama and public scrutiny. Section 6. Why these scandals matter. Presidential scandals captivate public imagination, but their impact goes far beyond headlines or late-night jokes. These events reveal something deeper and far more important about the structure and fragility of American democracy. They expose the delicate balance of trust between leaders and the people. When a president abuses power, hides the truth, or becomes entangled in corruption, it shakes the foundation of the system that citizens rely on. Trust, once broken, does not return easily, and in a democracy built on public confidence, that loss can echo for generations. Scandals also reflect the immense pressure placed on those who wield power. Every president operates inside a bubble of national expectations, global responsibilities, political rivalries, and personal weakness. Some rise above it, others fall to it. And their downfall becomes a lesson in how even the most powerful individuals remain human, flawed, and vulnerable to temptation. These controversies also show how transparency and accountability shape the long-term health of the nation. A scandal does not only reveal what a leader did in secret, it reveals whether the system is strong enough to confront wrongdoing. Watergate tested the checks and balances of government and proved that even a president is not above the law. Clinton's impeachment reshaped conversations about morality, privacy, and the limits of political punishment. And the recent storms surrounding Trump and the Epstein leaks shows how even decades into the modern era, the presidency remains a stage where truth, rumor, power, and scandal collide in unpredictable ways. From Teapot Dome to Watergate, from Clinton's courtroom battles to today's digital age accusations, these moments remind us that history is not just written by presidents. It is written by their failures, their secrets, and the consequences that follow. And as each scandal unfolds, Americans are forced to re-examine what they expect from their leaders and what they are willing to tolerate in the pursuit of power.